Hello, Archery here with another Dominions 5 video. So, someone asked on one of my videos, the recent one about archery, for me to retry it and use royal, what are they called? Royal Guards, the cavalry Royal Guards, versus archers and see how it goes. Now, they did that because, you see, Royal Guards have 21 protection, so versus 14 damage archers, on average, you could survive 500 or 600 to 1,000 archers and kill all of them without losing any Royal Guards, probably. Because 14 damage attacks aren't going to do shit versus 20 protection troops. However, some people seem to be under the misapprehension that this is because the troops are moving entirely. Now, that's obviously not the case, because otherwise, as soon as they stopped moving and had to fight your infantry, archers would become effective again and kill all your cavalry eventually. I did a test video. The test video I already did, in fact, shows them killing infantry while moving and killing infantry once they've stopped. And the reason those infantry actually die is because they got 14 protection. So royal or cavalry, I guarantee you, are not checked against in any different way when they're not moving. When they are moving, I would be very surprised to hear that the movement speed actually affected it, but you know, it could. You never know. But they're going to stop moving eventually anyway. And because they're cavalry, they're actually going to stop moving a lot sooner than regular infantry. The advantage there, of course, being that you spend less turns just standing around being shot at by archers and more turns killing people while being shot at by archers, which is nice. Yeah, the real reason they're good against archers is because they are 21 protection and they have a kite shield, so they're virtually immune to archers. In fact, they're almost immune to crossbowmen as well. And it's not because like there's a special magical thing about cavalry that makes them immune to archers. It's because these guys are really fucking elite troops, right? And they're 40 gold. Now, the question, of course, might be, why wouldn't you recruit these all the time? Well, the thing is that they cost 59 resources to recruit, and I've actually got terrible scale, so I can only recruit 3. And maybe on a good day, though, I could recruit like 6 or 7 of them, right, if I had production scales. You need production and order scales, actually, to really get full benefit out of this. And then even then, you know, they're still 40 gold troops. So the thing is that Bandar Log could recruit probably, what is it? Actually, I've got them up currently, and Bandar Log has terrible infantry, right? Like, this is an example of a nation that should lose to Marignan, like, every time, because their infantry are garbage, and they have a lot of spell disadvantages to Marignan. Marignan's a really strong nation for a variety of reasons. But like, take a look at these guys. These guys are actually pretty okay. 15 protection for 16 gold, 18 hit points. But the point I'm getting at here really is that these guys will lose to those Royal Cavalry, because the cavalry have 21 protection and a shield, and these guys deal 21 damage. So on average, they deal no damage to those cavalry when they hit them. Those guys also have great defense values, and they have shields. So, you know, they only deal damage like 20% of the time. You can get some kills, but, you know. Anyway, so these guys, you're going to get about 2.5 of them for every of those cavalry that someone recruits, and you can also recruit these guys about 2.5 times faster than those cavalry, right? So the thing is that you can get, like, instead of 100 cavalry, you can get 250 of these dudes. Are these good dudes as good as cavalry? No. However, it's a lot harder to kill 250 guys with spells than it is to kill 100 guys with spells. It's also harder to deal with units that just cover up more of the battlefield in a variety of ways. If you can actually stretch your army all the way across the field, you can avoid being attacked. For example, if you have your cavalry set to attack rear, right, and you only have 30 cavalry, now I can kill through a pretty large army of these Bandar warriors, right? Well, someone using the Bandar warriors could have like enough Bandar warriors to cover the entire battlefield, so you're still going to have to engage them and kill some of them before you can go through and attack rear, right? You'll be able to do that, but you'll have to do that first, the other thing first. So what they can do is they can have some war elephants or something set to attack rear, and they just put them off to one side, and they'll just walk past your cavalry that are also attacking rear and kill the other troops, unless you invest even more money on other troops that are of similar quality or lower quality to Bandar warriors, right? I was going to show off in this video how just a few mages changed the equation of trying to dealing with elite troops, right? Because Bandar Log has almost no ways at all to kill Royal Guards, like, period. Like, none of their units can really affect Royal Guards. Like, Royal Swordsmen can barely affect the Royal Guardsmen, and they're going to get slaughtered still because they don't have very good defense skill, and they only have protection 15, but they're only going to do light damage to those guys. And all their other troops are just going to have a harder time. Unfortunately, I thought this army is actually not including the mages, is about the same value as these Royal Guardsmen and completely slaughtered them. And in fact, if we watch the battle details here, my mages are just set to cast Growing Fury, because I was going like, all right, you know, I'll show, look how good Berserk elephants are. They're not going to stand a chance against berserking elephants. Well, the elephants actually, if you watch closely, they should start glowing red, right? If they've gone berserk. None of these guys actually went berserk. They just trampled over them because, you know why? Trample ignores protection, right? And without the protection value, those guys, it ignores defense too. So without the protection value, those guys are no good at all. And you can do a similar thing. Let me see if I can actually like show it off real quick here by just pushing out some units. You can do a similar thing by just spamming like Soul Slay, right? Or Mind Burn even. So let me see if I can just get some like crappy, like a similar value set up. Oh, let's see. We want to use like gurus, right? All right, let's just do some gurus. We want like a bunch of them. They're 160 gold, so we probably only want like 10 mages, right? So like 1,000 gold of mages, and we'll have a pretty big battle. We'll do like 50 cavalry, right? So here's the thing. If you have, I don't know if these guys are actually going to win it, right? Because, like I mentioned earlier, Bandar Log should lose to Marignan. You probably wouldn't use this strategy to beat them. I would just use some flaming arrows, and then your crossbowmen are going to one-shot like almost all of their troops and just obliterate them in no time flat. But you could just probably throw elite infantry at them and rush them early game because unless they get a good, this is like a different discussion, but like theoretically Bandar Log can be viable if you get the right bless on them. And I was talking with someone else and they said they had a good idea of what bless to use. I might do a video on that separately. But anyway, they're what's propping these guys up are their sacreds actually. Probably mostly the white ones because Tiger Riders lost a ton of value. Moving over to the minions 5 with what blesses that made them good. Mostly they needed quickness and I can't really afford it now. Anyway, side discussion. So let's pass a few turns here. All right. So we've probably got plenty of these guys, and we're just gonna set them all to do the same sort of thing. That's that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, we'll meet these up with the other guys. We'll have like roughly 1,000 gold mages. I'll put a ton of cavalry against them, so the cavalry will definitely win. And then just we'll see how many of them die instead, right? So why don't we do? Yeah, we're going to do a little bit of a Mind Burn, then Soul Slay, right? So turn 1, wait, Mind Burn, and you'll see why I'm doing this in a second. Soul Slay, Soul Slay, Soul Slay, spells, right? Okay, so that's our setup. We're gonna just paste this across all these guys. I guess this is gonna be really more of a video of why you can't just spam elite troops and win the game than about archery, really. Because the reason archery is super good is because you can't just spam elite troops and win the game. And because you can't just spam elite troops and win the game, what other people are going to do is they're going to clog up the battlefield with chaff units. And then they're going to kill your elite troops with mages, right? How many of these guys have I got? That's probably too many. Like, I only want like 30 of these dudes. Oops. Yeah, like 30, 27. This is only, I'm not gonna actually math. I've been doing the math for a bunch of some tests I did earlier, and it's just such a pain in the ass. So I'm just gonna. Oh shit! I don't want this guy to lead the troops though, because he's good himself. They shouldn't do that. Okay, so I'll just have this guy. We'll have them go collect a bunch of Micarta. Who knows? We'll get like 100 Micarta are what, like 500 gold. They're really cheap. They're dirt cheap. You just like throw a bunch of them in front of every army to bait attacks, right? All right. What am I doing here? All right. And turn Bandar Log. Oh no, I had crippled units. Hopefully these guys aren't like too fucked up, because that would be awkward when they just die horribly. That's probably too many. We'll chop it down to keep that army cost low. All right. So these guys are gonna stop our attacks. Sparse line formation. Sparse line formation. Yeah, sparse line formation to make sure we cover the whole front of our army, stay behind troops. Now, if you're wondering, I'm gonna have my dudes just fly into each other and murder each other. And you might think, well, what if I just attack rear and get around these stupid Micarta, right? Okay, that's a pretty good strategy. What you would do as Banderlog to counter that, and I don't want to do it for purposes of making the battle more manageable, is you would just like double the amount of units you throw into a fight, right? Make it like 200 Makarta and like 60 Pandar warriors, and then, you know, Marin would try and send just as many cavalry as they could, probably more than I'm going to send, and do the same thing. But at a certain point, if the battle gets big enough, you just can't flank troops anymore. Like, it stops working. Like attack rear just doesn't work if you have like 300 or 400 troops or something ridiculous on the battlefield. Not every nation can field that many troops very easily, but a lot of nations that don't have their own elite units to send up against yours will be able to do that because it's kind of their thing, right? I need to recruit another one of these guys just in case they die. Alright, so this guy... really? They just... This is what I get for taking... I did this originally for blood bond testing, and... I did this originally for blood bond testing, and now the misfortune scales are causing my provinces to constantly be overrun by bullshit, and I can't put province defense on a lot of the provinces, otherwise it will fuck up testing, and it's very annoying. All right, 61. That's probably too many. Let's do like 54. This is gonna be. I think this is gonna be a little more value of troops than the monkey army. It should be. All right, stay behind troops. Hold a bunch of turns. All right, let's walk out and do this. Banderlog. All right, we've got our mages. Right, and this guy. We're gonna move these guys over here. These guys. This dude is going to retreat, and this group of mages. We're gonna send a couple of them away. We're gonna keep this guy, and let's see, what does he need? He needs like 2. No, he doesn't even need communion slaves, huh? Fuck. Come on. Why is, you know, there's some new bug where like A, which is all select, which normally deselects. Fuck. I can't deselect some of them. Okay, let's end turn because I think that fixes it sometimes. Let's try this again. Can I just? All right. This is really annoying. Some weird new UI bug that's making this super obnoxious. Okay, so that'll leave me with what? I've got 2 communion slaves in here, I think. Wait. No, wait, I don't need any communion slaves. That's right. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, I forgot astral gems. I'll build a temple here to be convenient. Not a temple. Can't build a lab. Oh, there's already a laboratory here. Perfect. Oh, how convenient. How convenient. Alright, so let's give him a few astral gems. And we're going to change up the scripting on these guys. Okay. This guy is getting out of here. With his stupid elephants. What is it? There it is. No more communion slave nonsense. No more communion slave nonsense. Just some people casting Soul Slay. And this guy is going to cast... he's just going to straight up cast Light of the Northern Star, right? Yep, he just casts it, no problem. And then he starts spamming Soul Slay, although he won't have enough fatigue to easily do it, right? Soul Slay. Soul Slay. Alright, let's see how this goes. End turn, Marignan. Alright, so we need these guys to move out of here, and this guy to move into here. And turn, and we'll have Banderlog attack. Let's see how it goes. Why not? Right, just blind testing it. This could look really dumb, but probably should be okay. Whew. Yeah. Let's see how this goes. They're gonna win? Probably not. Yep. Okay, they didn't win, but so here's the thing, right? This is a really shit army, quite frankly, and this is why you wouldn't use just Royal Guards, right? Because they're going to get killed by Soul Slay a lot. In fact, early in the game, you can cast Mind Burn on them, and maybe even using Mind Burn so that it costs less fatigue would be the superior strategy here. I mean, they're getting annihilated by these mages, and I have, quite frankly, a very terrible screen of units to go up against these, right? Probably I should have doubled my number of Makarta and cast Growing Fury or something to try and make them go berserk instead of retreating. Damn, I actually do lose this. Oh, no Bandar log 1. Oh, okay. Whoops, I misread the battle log. I was like, they did win lose after all. So yeah, here's the thing. This is why you don't just recruit a shitload of an equal weight in gold of royal guards, right? So if you do that, they're all gonna die like this. So what do you have to do? You have to recruit a ton of regular infantry to go with your royal guards, right? Or you have to use your royal guards for something else. For example, royal guards are fantastic for use in small armies of 20 to 40 units, and you go and attack where their enemy's big army isn't, right? That's fantastic. But sooner or later, you may get into a big shit fight with a giant army, because, for example, they just recommand. Did they just form a communion on their own? The fuck? The fuck? Never mind. Yeah, they did. That should not happen. God, I hope that's not supposed to happen. Yeah, so they can go off on their own and do really great things. But in a big army, like let's say we double the value of troops here, right? Now you get some more infantry to go with your royal guards to distract from the soul slay, and you get some more archers, right? Well, the thing is, when you put in more units that aren't just immune to archer fire, like 21 prot units are, and I mean, some nations can just kind of spam those, like Ulm, right? Because that's their national thing. But most nations can't do this. Marignan can't even do it because they don't have units that are just like straight up immune to archers. Besides those guys, they have royal swordsmen, but they almost have the same. They have like a less bad problem. The men-at-arms, right? These guys are very resistant to archers, but they'll take great damage. And this is versus Bandar log. Bandar log has bows. Bows are not as good as crossbows. Even longbows are not quite as good as crossbows, right? So if you'd face a nation with crossbows, they're going to deal some damage to your royal guards, and they're going to deal great damage to your royal swordsmen. So you're going to end up spamming like these spear guys, because they're 10 gold, not because they're good versus bows. And the thing is that your enemies are going to pick up archers because the archers are good versus your pikeneers, and their troops are likely not super great versus your pikeneers. Some nations, won't have this problem, but and then the whole thing I talked about earlier, where if the front line of your infantry is because it's kind of a ratio thing. If the front line of your infantry is big enough that you can completely fill the front of the battlefield, and maybe you can fill a bit behind it, long enough that you're confident that you will buy plenty of time for your mages and archers to have value, then archers are the best thing you can recruit. And that's why you want ratios in your army where if you have enough melee troops, you just want the rest of your army to be archers, as many archers as you can get. 1, 2, 3, 400 archers, whatever you can pack behind your melee troops, right? But of course, archers on their own, or crossbowmen in this case, are not super great for obvious reasons. Yeah, so because you can't just blindly recruit elite units and have it go your way, with the exception of some extremely heavily blessed sacreds, you need to be careful. Your archers are going to have a purpose. That's what I'm trying to say. Because their archers can kill your less elite troops, which leaves more of their less elite troops to fight your elite troops, and in turn, means that your lines will break earlier, blah, blah, blah. The whole thing is that, yeah, they're going to be more effective, like gold for gold, because they're not going to get killed. They're not going to get into the fighting, and all the other shit I said about archers, basically. All the other shit I said about archers goes because 100 crossbowmen are not actually. It's like you get 4 crossbowmen for every freaking knight a royal guard you pick up, right? 4 of them. So if you have 50 of these guys, that's 200 crossbowmen. 200 crossbows, and the crossbows are better than the longbowmen that I mentioned earlier in a lot of cases. Not versus chaff units, but whatever. Yeah, 200. That's a fuckload. And the important thing is that for a lot of spells purposes, right? For a lot of spell purposes, those 200 crossbowmen are more resistant to magic than the royal guards, simply because royal guards go at their size 3, right? Yeah, so there's 80 gold of troops in a square, and the crossbowmen only have 30 gold of troops in a square, right? So you can't kill them as quickly with mages, because mages, for the most part, there's like battlefield kill spells, but it's a lot easier to spam these guys down with low cost abilities like lightning bolt. Just regular lightning bolt, not thunderstrike. Thunderstrike's great too, but regular lightning bolt will do the trick. Mind burn will do the trick. Lots of easy magic will make all the difference. And here's the thing. So you might say, well, what about Marignon's mages? Well, yeah, Marignon's mages can do stuff, but they can't do stuff if you choose a army of elite units that has too few individual units to buy time for your mages, which is why you gotta choose a bunch of frickin' pikeneers. And when you've chosen a bunch of frickin' pikeneers with a big enough army, your crossbows go up in value, and suddenly you have a good reason to recruit crossbows, and they're going to do a lot of the work for your army, right? Okay. And here's, of course, Marignon is a nation that casts flaming arrows, so if you are not recruiting a buttload of crossbowmen and casting flaming arrows, you're making a huge mistake. There is no universe in which that is not a good idea on this nation. Even if you're going like shitty scales, big sacred rush, or whatever the hell, you probably still should be casting flaming arrows on this nation. It's a little bit, if you're actually doing a wonky flagellant bless where they're going to take buttloads of damage from friendly fire at those, maybe not. It's a little less good, but it's so good. It's to the point where you don't want to go a bless route potentially just to make flaming arrows better, or get some freaking fire resistance and protection on them so that they don't. Like bark skin and major fire resist, so they don't get obliterated by your own crossbows, right? Yeah, so that's the deal with that. Elite units are countered by mages. Crossbows are not very well countered by mages. There's still options like Earthquake and Rain of Stones, but options that counter the whole battlefield are what you need to use against archers, right? And because they hit the whole battlefield, they're big battlefield magic spells, they are, for good reason, much harder to get than things like Mindburn, or Frozen Heart, or Soul Slay even, or Gifts from Heaven, or Lightning Bolt, or what's some other good ones? There's a ton of spells. There's so many spell options. Anyway, I hope this isn't belaboring the point too much. But yeah, no, if you send 50 of these guys against an army of like just some chaff infantry and archers, of course they're going to win, because chaff infantry don't do anything to them at all, and archers don't do anything to them at all because they have too much protection. But if you send these guys up against a real army with mages, and you bring mages with them, the thing is that they're not super great at supporting your mages compared to cheap infantry that you can recruit a fuckload of, because they aren't very effective against mages casting spells that counter them, right? That's the whole deal. But that's not to say they're bad, like I mentioned before, because these guys are so immune to regular attacks with 21 protection. This goes for virtually any unit with 21 protection. Cavalry are notable because they don't fatigue out easily, and fatiguing out is how you often beat such units. They are really, really good versus PD. You can split them into really tiny armies and go raid PD. You can even recruit your Sacreds, honestly, even if you have like a shit bless, even if you just take like Blood Surge and nothing else. These guys have less protection, so they're not quite so immune. But like you throw a Blood Surge on these suckers and they're great. And you take like 5 of them, you go raid PD with like a Friar or whatever the hell that guy is that you get off foreign recruit, and they'll take out like 10-15 PD, no problem, and you just don't have them go fight a main army. And you can put them in your main army too, but I would use them by doing something like choose sparse line formation, put them in front of your army and have them charge into the enemy lines. And they are actually quite, although chaff is kind of their counter, right, because you want to absorb those lance charges with non-elite units, they will make enemy players use chaff units that they might not have otherwise, and they will eat through that chaff very effectively, right? So anyway, that's probably how I'd use them in a fight, especially because sparse line formation means that they will be hit by fewer evocations, although it won't help you at all versus Soul Slay and Mindburn. Don't fight Astral Nations with it, or don't use them fighting Astral Nations. Anyway, I think that's hopefully that gets at it. I guess there's some people I'll probably never convince, but I mean, I don't think this is actually a super crazy opinion coming into Dom 5. Oh, I wanted to, you can probably just, if this is all you cared about, you can end the video here, but I wanted to do a little flagellants versus archers test, because there are some people, and I think this is absolutely crazy that people are suggesting this, but there are people who are suggesting that flagellants are amazing now. I think they are actually pretty good now in Dominions 5. There's a lot of stuff that's benefited them, but they're suggesting they're amazing because archers don't do anything to them. Like without a bless, even. They won't really be hurt by archers because they'll be able to walk to the enemy lines. They won't get hit on the way there at all. And once they're there, archers hit enemy troops just as much as your own. Now, these are a couple of these, there's a couple statements in there, and they're all wrong. Archers don't hit enemy troop or allied troops just as much as enemy troops. Not even at like 9 precision, which is, you know, below average. It just doesn't. They just don't do that. They hit enemy troops more often than your own troops. Now, they will hit your own troops some. Oh yes, they will definitely hit your own troops some. Not more than they hit the enemy troops. However, if you can make this bad for yourself by doing something like, oh, I don't know, picking units like, what would be really bad to do? We don't have naked bandars in the Middle Age anymore, but maybe like these Atavi infantry that have fucking 1 protection. If I send these guys up against a bunch of heavily armored troops and take a ton of archers, that's a terrible idea, because although they won't hit my troops as much as they hit enemy troops, they will definitely insta-kill my troops when they hit my troops, which is not a winning combination. Even if they hit my troops like half as much, or a third as much, or even a low, probably like 10% of the time. That's super bad for me. But, you know, as long as I use the Bandar Warriors that 15 prot, they usually won't even take damage from a friendly fire attack, actually, so not so problematic as all that. Okay, where? Crap, I don't have the guy selected anymore. Esqueta, this is probably pretty good. 72 archers, is that enough? I wanted to make this, like, kind of dramatic. We'll go a couple more turns. Really, let's do a real archer horde. Early game, this might be a little bit true, right? Like, you're not gonna have like big archer hordes. And hey, I'm not even gonna buff these guys. And you can summon air units and then cast like Wind Guide as Bandar, and I would totally consider doing that. Not necessarily, excuse me, not necessarily something that's gonna happen every game. However, you know, it's doable. It's definitely doable. All right, I'm just gonna have these guys up front. Actually, we'll put them back here. Fire closest. All right. Let's move out the archers, and we'll go over to Marignan. All right, got this guy. Dude, this is so annoying. Like, there's this destroy temple event. It's like kind of rare, but it happens, and it keeps fucking. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh my God. All right, hold on. It keeps fucking happening. All right, send gold to Marignan. Man, I wish there was like a better way I could test this stuff, but I can't even really trust the Dom Inspector right now, because the Dom Inspector, if you didn't know, has a number of errors I've found in it while talking about the game with other people. And, yeah, so that makes it a little bit problematic to use that. Alright, now we'll just recruit a bunch of flagellants while I march Bandarlog over here. You know, I probably should have like tried to set all these fights up in separate provinces, but there's like so many incidental problems, like troops starving. I probably should set this map up differently, but I was lazy and chose to use this map that I had set up for testing Soul Slay initially, because I was checking how it interacted with Blood Bond. Oh, I probably shouldn't bless the flagellants. That might make them a little bit extra good. Marignan. Okay, let's who has really high command? Yeah, 80. This guy who can't bless units, because we're talking about these people who think you can actually just go ahead and not bless your flagellants. It's not really accurate. Alright, this is probably good enough, right? Is it good enough? 62 flagellants. Alright, let's wait a few more turns. Phew. Please tell me, like, my Bandar. God damn it. Oh, yeah. Never again am I taking misfortune scales on a fucking test game. My Bandar archers get killed? They did, didn't they? Oh my God. Oh my God. Alright, I'm thoroughly disgusted. Fortunately, I continue recruiting them back here. Alright, 195, that's probably... I think that's overkill, right? 94, sure, why not? We'll still have fun either way. All we're really looking at are they going to take any damage at all? Any at all while moving? I'm guessing like freaking a quarter of them or half of them are going to die while moving. Although, like I've previously mentioned, I don't think my rating of archers is going to change much at all if I discovered units were immune to archery fire while moving, because it's not that much of the battle. It's like a nice bonus, not like an essential part of why you might use archers, right? Oh good, more flagellants. Here we go. Over there. Oh wait, they did die, yeah. Okay, move over there. These guys are just move off over there. And you gotta be fucking shitting me. And see, I can't put, like I've mentioned before, I think I can't actually put fucking province defense on there because it'll fuck it up. Okay, finally, let's just walk these guys in. You know, we'll fire closest. We'll put them in line formation. I assume you're going to use like a nice good commander for these guys, like an Inquisitor or something, you know, and not going to have any problems with them getting wrecked because they're in a square shape, because you should not do that versus archers. Okay, let's see how they did here. Flagellants, wow, they were completely obliterated. No way. Maybe units that don't have any protection are bad versus archers. Oh, look, they're already dying. All right, yeah, so archers are less effective versus units that are moving. I think we've all noticed that, certainly, but less effective does not mean not effective. Let's check something else here. Yeah, these are only precision 10 archers. Some... Oh, and these guys have a bonus because they've been sitting around in the frickin' Bandar log for so long. They have experience. Their base precision is 9. These guys are inaccurate. They are less accurate than normal archers. There are archers in the game that have precision 10 or 12. I don't know how common 12 is. I think that's pretty rare, but they exist. And you can buff these guys to be more accurate. If you cast Wind Guide at the start of a battle and your archers are back like this, there will be some turns of units moving towards them where they will be more accurate than this and hit more units while moving. Oh damn, some of these are even blood bonded. This guy managed to bless a couple of them. What a bastard. Alright, oh look, there's almost none of them left. Yeah, because what protects units from archers is protection. I can't emphasize that enough. High protection units don't give a shit about archers. I mean, crossbowmen are still dangerous. That's why crossbows are a lot better than other kinds of bows. Why is this guy... Oh, I put bark skin on here? Oh dear. Yeah, okay, no wonder. That's right, I was testing. Yeah, okay. So this guy, for example, 24 protection, is, might take a bit to die. If he even... Does he retreat off the battlefield without dying? Let's see. Yeah. What do you know? He's getting hit occasionally. Is he gonna get hit anymore before he routes? I didn't see if he got hit. Yeah, okay. So I think I made my point. Units that move might take less hits from archers, but they still take hits from archers. The most important aspects of not getting killed by archers are A, having armor, and B, having a shield. Okay, so shields, armor. That's how you protect yourself from archers, guys. You can buff your protection. You can take blesses to buff your protection. Whatever. But if you run your ass in there and you're a naked guy, right? Any unit that doesn't wear armor or even has, like, even 10 armor is not super helpful. Some of those units were blood bonded and had bark skin on them because he blessed a few of them. They got wrecked too, just slightly slower. So, yeah, it's important. Well, anyway, thank you all for watching, and I will talk to y'all later.